Where do you find God? Do you find God outside in nature? Do you find God in your interactions with other people? Do you find God when you are participating in holy acts of social justice, bringing a sense of change to the world, volunteering your time, advocating for issues that demand your voice? Everybody finds God in different places. And it's that notion of finding God in particular places that is most germane and significant this week. Friends, I'm coming to you from a little location in our newly revamped sanctuary, newly revamped synagogue building that we are calling a spiritual passageway. It's a small area that will be behind the bima. It will be behind the Aron HaKodesh, the holy ark that will house our Torah scrolls. As you'll enter into our sanctuary, you'll be able to come in through the main doors into the full sanctuary. Or you might take a quick left turn, come up 2 stairs onto a slightly raised platform, which will be this area here behind the ark, which, as I said earlier, we're calling a spiritual passageway. It's another way to come into the sanctuary, but it also will be a place for quiet contemplation, a place to be able to just sit with your thoughts, to meditate, to prepare yourself for worship. And how appropriate then this week, in this week's Torah portion known as Tisa, a Torah portion that features in it a low moment in our people's history, where Moses is up on top of Mount Sinai communing with God, and the people in the valley below have built a golden calf, which they are worshiping and singing and dancing around. That Torah portion where Moses comes down and smashes the tablets and punishes the people. That portion where Moses then goes back up onto Mount Sinai with 2 tablets that he himself has carved out of the stone, carving the 10 commandments on them. And in that moment, he says to God, "Show me your face, show me your presence." And God responds with the words, "Nobody can see my face and live, but I will show you my acharai, I will show you my backside, my afterwards, if you will." And then God says, "I will place you in a cleft of a rock." And the words in Hebrew are hine makom iti, meaning here is a place with me. It's a very spiritual idea. Sure, it could be a geographic location. Here is the place where God puts Moses, but I'd like to think of those words rather on a spiritual plane, that here is the place with me, which brings us to ask the question, where are the places in our lives where we find God? Do we find God, as I said earlier, in nature, in relationships with one another, in acts of social justice? I like to think that we can find God in all of those places, but I think that we come to the sanctuary to be able to be recharged, if you will, to be able to plug in. It's like we take our cell phones and we recharge them. It's where we recharge our spiritual batteries with other members of our community. And we know we do this both in community and we do this as individuals. And so my hope is that when you come into this new sanctuary, when it will be completed, as we're well on the road to doing so, you'll be able to come to this spiritual passageway that will be here to be able to say the words, Hine makom iti. Here is this place where God is with me. My friends, there's lots of ways, as always, to reconnect with Community Synagogue. If you're seeing this on a Wednesday, then tonight we know is Erev Purim, where you can come for our CJL's Got Talent and then stay as adults for a little Purim feast, followed with some good drink. Really, though, I want you to plan on the dates of March 16th and 17th, where our composer, our performer in residence, Noam Katz, will be with us. Noam is an amazing Jewish singer, songwriter. He'll be leading services on Friday night. He'll be with our religious school on Shabbat morning. He'll be doing a very special thing for people, families with young children on Shabbat afternoon, and to be able to come and be inspired by his music, where you might then be able to say, Hine makom iti, that when you're singing with Noam, you will feel God's presence in your life as well. Wishing you a very early Shabbat Shalom.